When I walked through the door that evening, I carried a smile that was more a mask than an expression of happiness. I had spent the day doing something I knew was wrong, something that betrayed the man who had given me nothing but love and patience. Yet, as I stepped inside our quiet home, pretending nothing had changed, I could already feel that everything had. Daniel was sitting on the couch, reading like he always did after work. The TV was on, the faint sound of the news filling the silence between us. When he looked up, his eyes met mine for a second, and in that brief moment I saw it. He knew. He didn't say a word, didn't ask where I'd been or why I was home late. He simply nodded and turned back to his book. That single act shattered something inside me. I walked into the kitchen, pretending to busy myself with dinner. Every sound, the clatter of dishes, the running tap, felt louder than usual. My hands trembled as I cut vegetables, and I kept waiting for him to come in and confront me. But he didn't. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating, wrapping around me like punishment. When we sat down to eat, he barely touched his food. He didn't look angry or sad, just distant. I tried to start a conversation, asking about his day, about work, anything to break the tension. His replies were short, calm, almost mechanical. That calmness hurt more than if he had yelled. It was as if he had accepted something terrible and was already moving beyond me. After dinner, I followed him to the living room and sat beside him. My heart was pounding and guilt was eating me alive. "Daniel," I whispered, "is something wrong?" He looked at me, his expression unreadable. "You tell me," he said softly. That was all. Just those 3 words. And they broke me completely. I tried to speak, to explain, to confess, but my throat felt tight. He didn't ask for details, didn't accuse me. His silence said everything that he already knew, and that nothing I said could undo it. Tears welled up, but I didn't deserve to cry. I had betrayed his trust, and now I was facing the quiet consequence of my own actions. That night I couldn't sleep. Daniel lay beside me, facing the wall, his breathing steady. The space between us felt like miles. I wanted to reach out to apologize, but I didn't have the courage. I had hurt him in a way that words couldn't fix, and he was too kind, too proud to humiliate me by asking for the truth I had already buried. Days turned into weeks. He didn't leave me, but he also didn't speak much. He was polite, even gentle, but there was a coldness in his tone that hadn't been there before. He smiled less. The laughter that once filled our home had vanished. We were living together, yet miles apart. I realized then that betrayal doesn't always end with shouting or broken things. Sometimes it ends with silence, the kind that slowly drains the life out of everything you once shared. His silence was like a mirror, showing me the emptiness I had created inside both of us. One evening, I found him sitting alone on the porch, staring into the distance. I joined him quietly, and for a long time we said nothing. Then, in a voice that barely rose above a whisper, he said, "I loved you more than my pride." My heart clenched. There was no anger in his tone, only sorrow. I wanted to beg for forgiveness, but I knew forgiveness wouldn't erase what I had done. I had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. He didn't tell anyone, didn't shame me. He simply carried the pain in silence, letting it shape the distance between us. That hurt more than any punishment he could have given. Over time, he started spending more hours at work, coming home late, avoiding long talks. I stayed home, waiting, hoping, regretting. Every sound of the door opening made my heart jump, but when he walked in, the warmth that used to be there was gone. He greeted me kindly, but not lovingly. Eventually, I understood that his silence wasn't just punishment. It was goodbye spoken without words. I had broken something sacred, and though he stayed, the part of him that truly loved me was already gone. I could feel it in the quiet, in his eyes, in the way he no longer reached for my hand. Now, when I think back to that evening, the one when I walked in smiling, I wish I could go back and stop myself. Because nothing I did that day was worth losing the quiet peace we once had. His silence was not just painful. It was the echo of love dying slowly, one unspoken word at a time.